Her journey began not on a film set, but in the disciplined world of a Beijing dance academy. She leapt onto the world stage in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, becoming an icon of strength and grace. But behind the Hollywood glamour, a series of shocking scandals threatened to destroy everything. From public humiliation to accusations of fraud, her reputation was left in tatters. This is the story of Zhang Ziyi's incredible rise, her devastating fall, and her fight to reclaim her name against all odds. To see more stories of triumph and turmoil, hit subscribe and ring the bell. In the sprawling city of Beijing, Zhang Ziyi began her life as a child who seemed too slight for the world. A slender girl whose parents worried about her delicate health. Their solution was a path of intense physical discipline, a choice that would unknowingly forge the foundation of her entire career. At the young age of 11, she was enrolled in the Beijing Dance Academy, a prestigious institution known for its demanding and rigorous training. This was not a world of creative expression and gentle encouragement, but one of grueling repetition and fierce competition. Life inside the academy walls was a stark contrast to a normal childhood. The days were long and structured, filled with endless hours of stretching, practice, and the constant pressure to achieve physical perfection. Homesickness was a constant companion for the young girl, who felt isolated from her family and trapped in a highly competitive environment where every student was a rival. The early years at the dance academy were a profound struggle. The relentless routine and the immense physical toll nearly broke her spirit. She often dreamt of escape, even plotting to run away from the boarding school that felt more like a prison than a place of learning. The joy of dance was lost in the pursuit of technical flawlessness. Yet, within this crucible of hardship, a deep well of resilience began to form. She channeled her loneliness and frustration into her craft, pushing her body past its perceived limits. Slowly, her persistence began to pay off. She started to stand out not just for her technique, but for the fierce determination that burned behind her eyes. Her talent, once buried under a layer of unhappiness, began to shine brightly. She started winning national youth dance championships, earning the respect of her teachers and peers, and discovering a strength within herself that she never knew existed. This disciplined control over her body and her unwavering tenacity would become her greatest assets. After years dedicated to the silent art of dance, a new desire for a different kind of expression began to stir within her. Dance was about conveying emotion through movement, but she found herself drawn to the power of the spoken word and the complex tapestry of human psychology that acting could explore. She made the pivotal decision to change course, setting her sights on the Central Academy of Drama in Beijing, China's most esteemed acting school. The transition was a gamble. She was leaving a field where she had already achieved national recognition to start over in a new discipline. The world of acting presented a different set of challenges. It required not just physical grace, but emotional vulnerability. The ability to strip away one's own personality and inhabit the soul of another. She threw herself into her studies with the same intensity that had defined her time as a dancer, absorbing the theories of performance and honing her ability to convey nuanced emotion. Her raw talent and unique presence did not go unnoticed for long. The celebrated film director Zhang Ziyi, a master of Chinese cinema, was searching for a fresh face for his upcoming movie, The Road Home. When he discovered Zhang Ziyi, he saw in her an untapped well of potential. He cast her in the lead role, a decision that would alter the trajectory of her life. In the film, she played a pure-hearted country girl, her performance radiating an innocence and an earnest love that captivated audiences. The movie was a critical success, earning the prestigious Silver Bear Award at the Berlin International Film Festival. Overnight, Zhang Ziyi became a rising star in her home country. Her performance was praised for its sincerity and emotional depth, proving that her abilities extended far beyond the physical discipline of dance. She was no longer just a promising student. She was an actress of note, standing on the cusp of something much larger. That larger destiny arrived in the form of director Ang Lee and his ambitious martial arts epic, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The project was a massive undertaking, blending breathtaking action with profound philosophical themes. Lee was looking for an actress to play Zhang Ziyi, a character of incredible complexity. Zhen was not a straightforward hero. She was a rebellious aristocrat's daughter, torn between duty and desire, whose polished exterior hid a formidable and untamed warrior spirit. Zhang was not the director's first choice for the role, a fact that only fueled her ambition. She knew this was the opportunity of a lifetime and committed herself completely to winning the part and proving her worth. The preparation was punishing. While she possessed a dancer's grace, she had no formal martial arts training. She endured a brutal regimen of swordplay, wire work, and fight choreography, pushing herself to the point of exhaustion every day to meet the director's exacting standards. The worldwide release of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was a cultural phenomenon. The film shattered box office records for a foreign language movie in America and earned a remarkable 10 Academy Award nominations. For Zhang Ziyi, the success was life-altering. Her portrayal of the fierce and conflicted Zhang Ziyi was a revelation to international audiences. She became a global star almost overnight. Her image splashed across magazines, and her name known in households far beyond China. Yet, this sudden ascent to global fame came with its own set of immense difficulties. The most immediate and daunting challenge was the language barrier. Thrown into the whirlwind of Hollywood press tours and interviews, she found herself unable to communicate directly, relying on translators to navigate a sea of questions she could not understand. This created a profound sense of vulnerability, a stark contrast to the powerful, self-assured characters she portrayed on screen. This struggle to find her voice in a new and demanding culture marked the beginning of her complex journey as an international artist. A journey that would be defined by both spectacular success and significant personal trials. The momentum from her initial success carried her directly into what should have been the crowning achievement of her burgeoning Hollywood career. She landed the coveted lead role of Sayuri in the lush, high-profile adaptation of the best-selling novel Memoirs of a Geisha. This was a monumental opportunity, placing a Chinese actress at the very center of a major American studio production, a rarity in an industry that seldom looked to Asia for its leading ladies. The weight of expectation was immense, not only from the studio, but from a global audience that held the book in high regard. She immersed herself in the role with her signature intensity, dedicating months to learning the delicate and precise art of being a geisha. It was more than just acting, it was a total physical and cultural transformation. She mastered the specific way to walk, to pour tea, to play the shamisen, and to handle the intricate fans with grace. All of this she did while continuing her strenuous effort to master the English language, working with dialect coaches to soften her accent and deliver her lines with the required poetic cadence. The role demanded a level of nuance and control that pushed her to the very limits of her craft, and she met the challenge head-on. Before the film even reached theaters, however, a storm of controversy erupted, and its epicenter was her own homeland. The decision to cast a Chinese actress as a Japanese geisha ignited a firestorm of public anger across China. The historical wounds between the two nations, marked by war and deep-seated animosity, were still raw. For many Chinese citizens, seeing one of their most celebrated stars embody a figure so distinctly Japanese was seen as a profound betrayal. The geisha, a symbol of Japanese culture, became a lightning rod for nationalist sentiment. The public outcry was deafening. Newspapers and online forums were filled with harsh criticism, questioning her patriotism and accusing her of cultural insensitivity. The backlash placed her in an impossible position. She was the face of a massive international project that could elevate her career to unprecedented heights. Yet she was being condemned by the very people and culture that had shaped her. This painful chapter highlighted the complex tightrope that international stars must walk, caught between the global demands of their profession and the deeply felt sentiments of their national identity. She was realizing that fame on the world stage came at a steep and often personal price. When Memoirs of a Geisha was finally released, it created a strange and conflicting reality for her. In the West, her performance was widely acclaimed. Critics praised her ability to convey Sayuri's journey from a vulnerable young girl to a woman of quiet strength and resilience. Her work earned her prestigious nominations for a Golden Globe, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and a British Academy Film Award, all for Best Actress. This was a remarkable validation of her talent, placing her among the elite actresses in the world. Yet, this celebration felt distant, echoing across an ocean of disapproval from home, where the film was eventually banned. She was living a dual existence, celebrated as a triumph of global cinema in one hemisphere while being vilified as a cultural traitor in the other. This period, which should have been one of pure professional bliss, was irrevocably tainted by the controversy. It demonstrated that even at the peak of her fame, she was not immune to the powerful forces of history and politics, which threatened to overshadow her artistic achievements and complicate her relationship with her audience. As the decade wore on, the challenges she faced shifted from the professional to the intensely personal, playing out in the unforgiving glare of the public eye. In late 2009, a bizarre and humiliating event signaled the beginning of a dark period of public relations crises. A massive promotional poster of her, displayed near her home in Beijing, was vandalized in the middle of the night. Someone had thrown black ink across her image, a brazen act of public defamation. The incident, quickly dubbed Inkgate by the media, sparked a frenzy of speculation. Salacious rumors soon filled tabloids, weaving a dramatic tale of a jilted socialite who allegedly orchestrated the attack. The story claimed there was a complex financial dispute involving Zhang, her then-fiancé, the Israeli venture capitalist Aviv Nevo, and other wealthy acquaintances. The truth of the matter was lost in a fog of gossip and innuendo, but the damage was done. The incident marked a turning point where the media narrative began to focus less on her work and more on her personal life, painting her as a controversial figure entangled in the dramatic affairs of the super-rich. The ink had barely dried on that scandal when she was plunged into an even more damaging crisis, one that struck at the heart of her character and integrity. Following the catastrophic Sichuan earthquake in 2008, Zhang, like many celebrities, had publicly pledged a significant sum of money, 1 million yuan, to the relief efforts. 2 years later, however, accusations surfaced that she had failed to deliver the full amount. The ensuing scandal, known as Donation Gate, was a devastating blow to her reputation. Her team scrambled to explain the discrepancy, citing a clerical error and a misunderstanding among her staff, and they quickly paid the outstanding balance. But in a culture where charity and keeping one's word are held in the highest regard, the explanation did little to quell the public outrage. The media portrayed her as dishonest and insincere, and the public felt deeply betrayed. The label of a celebrity who had reneged on a promise to earthquake victims was incredibly toxic. For a long time, she became a primary target for media attacks, her name synonymous with the scandal. This crisis eroded the public's trust in her and left a deep and lasting stain on her image, one that would take years of hard work to overcome. The relentless series of public trials culminated in a final, vicious attack in 2012. A United States-based Chinese news website called Boxun published a sensational and utterly baseless report alleging that she had engaged in inappropriate, paid relationships with powerful Chinese officials. The accusations were shocking in their severity and represented a direct assault on her moral character. After years of enduring scandals, some born from misunderstandings and others from malicious gossip, this was a line she would not allow to be crossed. Instead of retreating, she chose to fight. With her reputation hanging in the balance, she launched a defiant legal battle, filing a defamation lawsuit against the website in a US court. It was a bold move, taking the fight to her accusers on their own turf. The process was arduous, but she was determined to clear her name. Her perseverance was ultimately rewarded. The website was forced to retract its story completely and issue a full, unreserved apology, admitting their report had no factual basis. This legal victory was a profound moment of vindication. It was a declaration that she would no longer be a passive victim of media slander, marking the end of a painful chapter and the beginning of her long road back to reclaiming her narrative. The hard-won legal victory served as a powerful act of closure, clearing the path for an artistic reclamation. Her return to the cinematic forefront came through a collaboration with the visionary director Wong Kar-wai in his long-awaited martial arts epic, The Grandmaster. In the film, released in 2013, she played Gong Air, the daughter of a martial arts master, a character driven by honor, grief, and a quiet, burning desire for revenge. This was far from a simple action role. Her performance was a masterclass in subtlety and emotional depth, conveying a lifetime of pride and sorrow through the slightest glance or the precise execution of a martial arts form. She poured the turmoil and resilience of her own recent years into the character, creating a portrait of a woman who was both profoundly strong and heartbreakingly tragic. The role required the physical grace of her dance background and the emotional vulnerability of a seasoned dramatic actress. It felt like a role she was destined to play, a perfect synthesis of all her skills, and it would become the cornerstone of her professional rebirth. The critical response to her portrayal of Gong Air was not just positive, it was overwhelming. The performance was hailed as the best of her career, a stunning return to form that silenced any lingering doubts about her talent. The film industry across Asia responded by showering her with accolades. She embarked on an incredible winning streak, collecting a dozen Best Actress awards at major film festivals and ceremonies, including the prestigious Golden Horse Awards and the Hong Kong Film Awards. It was a clean sweep, a definitive statement that she was once again at the very peak of her craft. The flood of awards served as a powerful form of public rehabilitation. The conversation about Zhang Ziyi shifted decisively away from the scandals that had plagued her for years and returned to what had made her a star in the first place: her profound and undeniable talent as an actress. She had not only weathered the storm, but had emerged from it with a work of art that was impossible to ignore, effectively reclaiming her identity as a master of her profession. Following this triumphant career resurgence, her life entered a new and grounding chapter, one focused on personal happiness and stability. In 2015, she married Wang Feng, a prominent and popular Chinese rock musician. Their relationship and subsequent marriage marked a significant shift in her public persona. Later that same year, she gave birth to their daughter, and in 2020, the couple welcomed a son. Embracing her roles as a wife and mother, she began to share more of her personal life with the public, revealing a softer, more settled side that contrasted with the fierce ambition of her early career. Her priorities naturally evolved. The relentless drive to conquer the global film industry was tempered by the simple joys and profound responsibilities of family. This new phase of her life seemed to provide a sense of peace and completeness, allowing her to approach her career from a place of security rather than a need for validation. This newfound balance was reflected in her professional choices. No longer feeling the pressure to constantly prove herself, she became more selective about the projects she took on, choosing roles that intrigued her artistically or fit within her new family-oriented life. She returned to Hollywood not as a struggling newcomer, but as a respected veteran. Her role in the blockbuster film Godzilla King of the Monsters showcased this new status. She was no longer the central, embattled heroine, but an essential and dignified part of a large ensemble. At the same time, she embraced a new position as a mentor and stateswoman of Chinese cinema. She served as a judge and coach on wildly popular Chinese reality television shows, like The Birth of an Actor, where her sharp critiques and insightful guidance were informed by decades of experience. In this role, she helped nurture the next generation of performers, passing on the lessons from her own celebrated and challenging career. Now, as an established icon, Zhang Ziyi stands as a testament to resilience. Her journey has been a remarkable odyssey through the extremes of the entertainment world. She has experienced the dizzying heights of international superstardom and endured the crushing lows of public scandal and condemnation. She fought her way through it all, emerging not unscathed, but stronger, more self-possessed, and fully in control of her own story. Her legacy is no longer defined solely by the fiery, rebellious characters she played in her youth, but by her extraordinary longevity, her artistic depth, and her unwavering ability to persevere. She has successfully navigated the treacherous waters of modern fame, transforming her public image from that of a controversial starlet to a deeply respected artist, a dedicated mother, and an influential veteran of the global film industry, securing her place as one of the most enduring and significant actresses of her generation. From the depths of public disgrace, Zhang Ziyi forged an extraordinary comeback. Her masterful performance in The Grandmaster was not just a role, but a reclamation of her artistic crown. Today, she stands as a respected veteran, a wife, and a mother who successfully navigated the treacherous currents of global fame and scandal. Her journey is a powerful testament to resilience, proving that a career can be rebuilt and a narrative can be rewritten through sheer talent and will. What part of her story stood out to you? Let us know below and subscribe for more.